Hi guys, coming at you today with some plank variations, some side plank variations I should say. Giving you different options on what to do with your legs and your feet in terms of a base, some different arm and head coordination, a little bit of a torso lift and twist at one point as well. We're going to do a little arm stretch at the very end too. So I don't do many repetitions of the things that I show. Honestly, it wasn't needed. It was enough of a workout with what I show for me. But if you feel like doing more, you can always do more. Listen to your body and do what you need. Do what you feel good about today. But we're definitely going to get into the core. We're going to work the whole body with these planks. That's the beauty of planks. If you do them right, they can work everything. We're going to start with a little ab series to make sure those abs are awake and are ready to go. If you need more, feel free to do more. Just do a few. We're going to start with our single leg stretch. One knee bent and one knee straight. We're going to go right into our double leg stretch. Both knees go out and in. Both legs go out and in. Not many repetitions again. Just a bit to make sure I feel warm. Single straight leg stretch. Stretch those hamstrings. Don't move the torso. Moving right along to our double straight leg stretch, lowering and lifting. Low abs are working, the breath is helping. Try not to grip the fingers, the hands, the face, the neck. Last thing here is our bicycle or our crisscross, opposite armpit to knee. And then rest down for a minute. Again, if you need more of a warm up for those abs, feel free. Otherwise, let's get right into it. Let's almost get right into it. So set yourself up on the left side of your body. I'm going to be down on my forearm and elbow for most of it. You can be up on your hand if you would like. You can have your top leg bent with your foot on the ground, and the bottom leg can be long. You can lift your hips up and down from there, just getting a feel for it. You can have your top leg behind you as well. Probably feels a little better to have it in front. Or you can go right to it and have the legs stacked, one on top of the other. Hips are stacked. Your torso is flat. Pretend like you're between two pieces of glass and you can't roll forward or back. You can have that top arm on the ground or on a block or on a stack of something so that your torso doesn't roll forward so that your hand can reach the ground. If you can reach that arm towards the sky, you can turn your head and look at it. You can also reach the arm overhead and then back to the sky. Notice nothing else is moving. Nothing else was moving. I added a little hip lift. You can add a little twist where your torso twists under and your arm threads through. Just showing you options for now, and then after showing you some options, we'll do a little more of like a sequence of sorts. You can have both knees bent and just lift your torso from there. You can have your bottom leg bent and your top leg long and lift from there. This is a good like full side plank if you're feeling it. You can do everything in this position. You can also have your legs staggered. Have both feet down. Your bottom leg will be towards the front and your top leg will be towards the back. Having the arm directly under the shoulder or your elbow directly under the shoulder, depending on where you are. If you're in that staggered position, heel to toes. If you can have the heels connecting to the toes. Let's switch sides so we don't get too tired on that one side. So you're now going to be on your right side. I'm going to try to keep the ribs closed. Hips are still stacked. You can do everything also in this position with those hips down if you're not ready for that full plank yet. You can lift and lower the top leg. You can take that top arm overhead. You can add a curve of the torso. If you're ready, go ahead and lift those hips. Find the balance first. Always find that position first. When you're ready to add things, go ahead and add things. You can have that arm go overhead and back to the sky. Notice I didn't move my hips for those two. You can add that little twist. Coming down and rest for a moment. Just hang out, lounge. Look like your beautiful self that you are. When you're ready, lift back up. Find that balance. Have the arm down on the ground or something if you need it to. Lift and lower that top leg. Only 3, because it's really hard. Oh, I did more than 3. I lied. 4. When you lower the leg, try to intentionally lower it. Don't let it drop. We're going to lift that top leg again. We're going to keep it lifted. Arm is going to go overhead and back to the sky. Only 2. Those are hard. Take a moment, stretch out those arms if you need to. Reach behind, open the front of the body. Stretch out the shoulders. Shake out the hands if you need. Rotate the wrists, give yourself a little hug. And we're going to come back to that first side. If you're following along with me, you'll be on your left side. Leg again, just showing you those different options. Top knee can be bent, leg can be in front or back. Both knees can be bent. Top leg long, bottom leg bent. Both legs long and staggered. Top leg is behind, or both legs stacked one on top of the other. That's my preferred position for myself. So get to that plank position if you can, if you have it. Take the arm back overhead, don't move anything else. Add a head movement, adding a little coordination. Sit up, take a little stretch there if it feels good. And then if you can, come up onto your hand if you haven't. Hold that as long as you can and then come down. It's harder on my wrist to be up on my hands, so that's why I tend not to do it. But it will work slightly different things, being on your hand versus your forearm and elbow. So you want to find that stability. We've switched to the other side. We want to try to be equal on both sides. Resting down, so just that arm was reaching overhead and going back to the ceiling, back to the sky. Trying to have your focus up or straight ahead. Once you're even on both sides, come to a down dog. Do what you need there for a moment. And then take a child's pose stretch if you need it as well. Come to a centered plank position on your elbows. We're going to lift to the hands and then lower back down to the elbows, one arm at a time, starting with the right. Try to let the torso be as still as it can be. Try to shift side to side as little as possible. You're going to shift a little bit because our bodies will be uneven as we're transitioning, but try to have as much control as you can. Trying to make it as smooth as you can. We're going to do the same thing again. We'll start on the left. So we're actually going to start on our hands this time. So when you're ready, come to that plank position. Stay there for a moment, make sure you have it, and then left elbow down, right elbow down, and then up on the left, up on the right. Just 3 sets. And then take another down dog, take a child's pose, do what you need here. So it's tricky. This stuff is kind of hard, and I almost didn't post this video because I'm like, it doesn't look good, but it's hard. It's not going to look good on most people, on most bodies. Come back to the hands on the plank position. Pick one foot up, rock forward, rock back, and place that foot down and pick up the other foot. Adding a bend of the knee to that if you're ready. We're going to add one more piece. Pick up that foot, rock forward, back, bend the knee, straighten, lift, lower, all the way down. Pick up that other foot, rock, bend, lift, and lower, and rest down. Just throwing in some coordination, making you think. Take a child's pose stretch. Come back to forearms and elbows, come back to plank. And just hold that plank for a moment. Really nice and long behind the knees, nice and closed in the ribs, strong in the abs, strong in the back and the shoulders. You can be up on your hands if you want. Being down on the elbows does work your abs a little bit more. And then take a little arch, a little baby swan. If you want to do a child's pose, you can. After this, we're going to do one more series of side plank. And I'm going to face away from you so we get just a different view. So my left side is not as strong as my right, and you'll probably be able to see the difference. A little more tightness and a little more weakness near my shoulder blade on my left side. So set yourself up in that plank, forearm and elbow or hand. Top leg stays parallel. You're just going to bend the knee. and then straighten that leg back down. Does not have to look pretty, but I want you to try to keep your hips still. And your right leg does not have to come up far. That top leg does not have to come up far. It's about maintaining the stability elsewhere while that right leg just freely moves. I'm going to do 2 more things like that. I'm going to rotate and turn out the legs. You'll slide up and down. Again, everything can be done with those hips down if you're not ready to do this in that full side plank. But if you are, turn out, slide the right heel up and slide it down, lengthen, sliding up, stretching long, 1 more, and then coming back down. We've got 1 more thing on this side, and then we'll do those 3 things on the other side. So you're going to keep your top leg long, you're going to point to lift and flex to lower. Again, we're just going to do 3, and again, when you lower, try to control it, try not to let the leg drop. It's super hard, but you can do it, you can do it. Last one, and then down. Good, guys, we're going to do a little stretch, cross that working leg over, you can have your bottom leg straight. Do a little twist, do what you need, basically. And then make your way to the other side. You'll be on your right side if you're following along. Down on your elbow or up on your hand. Hips are stacked, legs are stacked, so we're starting parallel, and then turn out, and then lift and lower. So find that stability, find a good stable base, and then parallel bending and straightening, just 3. And then rest down for a minute. You can push yourself up, get a little side stretch there. If you're able to take your top hand away from the ground and test your balance, go for it. It doesn't need to do anything. It can just hover on the ground too if you need it. So we're rotating and bending that top leg and then stretching along again. Just 3. You can do it. 1 more thing here. And then we'll do some stretching and then we'll call it a day with our side planks. So when you're ready, push yourself up. Make sure that arm and shoulder are aligned. Point to lift, flex to lower. Point to lift and flex to lower. And then coming all the way down. Take another stretch for that side, whatever you did on the other side or whatever you need. Good, guys. Take a little stretch forward and across one leg over the other, flexing those feet. Ankle over knee, knee over ankle, flat or rounded back. Getting into the hip area of that top leg. If you need longer, please pause and stay there longer. So just some options for that side plank to work that side plank and different modifications, different variations, different levels. You can keep your bottom half down for everything and just lift your top half if you want. You can add the arms and the head to add some coordination. Work your mind a little bit and still working that core. We're gonna do a little arm stretch here. So take your right arm to your right hand over to your left shoulder. Hold on to around your elbow with your left hand. You can have your right elbow down, you can have your right elbow lifted. You can also extend that right arm and hook the left arm around. We're not going to be here long. Circle that right arm behind, take the right hand to the middle of your upper back, take the left hand on your right elbow. Enjoy that stretch there for just a moment. Again, if you need longer, stay longer. Right arm is going to come down, twisting those arms in front, inside of hands are together. Try to have the shoulders down, taking a little twist, a little bind. When you're ready, release that. I'm just going to do nice and quick on the other side. So that left arm can be bent, it can be long. You can add a little twist if you need it. And that left hand to the middle of your back, right hand is on the left elbow. Try not to open the ribs, keep them together. When you're ready, you're going to release that left arm. Will come down, and it's going to be underneath the right arm. Arms are bound, inside of hands are together. Your palms might reach, or they might not. My fingers are reaching my palm on the other hand. Deep inhale, deep exhale here. And then release, shake the arms out a little bit. Give yourself a little hug. Switch opposite arm on top, give yourself a little hug. Do a quick little back of the head stretch. Take your chin down, take your hands on the back of the head, gently rock side to side. When you're ready, coming up out of that. And there we have it. Thanks, guys. Those are my plank variations. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.